Okay, if it is Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, that can mean just one thing. It's time for the goRIA live stream. I'm Chuck Fala. And as I like to do on these Wednesday afternoons, is put a little spotlight on what is new on www.goRIA.com. And what we have this week is a new podcast. As I mentioned last week, we're kind of catching up. So we have a few more in the bank and then we're going to be fully caught up. And today we have Adam Palmer, who is the Vice President of Strategic Development over at Orion. And we talked about one of my new favorite tech topics, which is data warehousing. So for those of you that are not familiar with this idea, you have a data warehouse, you have a data lake, you actually have a data lake house, all these different iterations. And at a minimum, you've probably been hearing these terms, certainly data warehousing, been around for a long, long time. But you're hearing it more and more now in the RIA space because it solves for a very, very important thing. And something that we've been doing actually at Sovereign as well is trying to get all of our information into one spot. For us, we chose our CRM, which is Salesforce. And as a shop, our data stack or our tech stack is our main ones. There's a lot of subcomponents, I guess, but Orion, Salesforce, and eMoney. We don't want to have our advisors, and I'm an advisor as well. I don't want myself to have all these different tabs open and going from Orion, then to Salesforce, then to our trading system, then to eMoney, and so on and so forth. So what we're looking to do is get everything into Salesforce. You can do it a lot of other ways. And Adam talks about that as well. And here's the thing. The reason why a data warehouse is so exciting is, as you will know, as you're doing your research about going RIA, there's no shortage of tech. And if you're of the mindset of doing a best in breed, there are a lot of all-in-one solutions, which are fine, where you have essentially your account management, your planning work, and everything into one spot. And that's okay. I tend to be a little bit more picky about the tech, so I go for more what I believe is best in breed. So we're mix and matching. When you mix and match, one of the issues you will absolutely run into is integration. Now, integration has gotten much better. I mean, looking back even just 3 or 4 years, integration is much better between these different players, but it's still not 100%. So if you want to get that 100% integrated one view portal of having all of your different aspects, planning, account management, rebalancing, you name it, CRM, of course, taking notes all in one spot, really the only way to do that is with a data warehouse. So we're going to hear from Adam in just a moment. I'll give you a little teaser, but do check out the full episode, especially if you're looking to build a tech stack. This is such an important thing because what the data warehouse will let you do is get everything from everywhere, put it into this data warehouse. The data warehouse could then also manipulate it, do some massaging as you wish, clean up the data, reconcile it, and then push it over to that one source of truth that you're looking for your own personal use or your advisor's use if you're building more of a platform or a team approach. So here's a little snippet of what Adam and I spoke about, and it makes sense data for us economically. Are you seeing more and more adoption from smaller and smaller firms to utilize this data warehouse concept?
We are, and we're really starting to see that entry point be around, call it 500 to 700 million. Be that in AUM, and that's because at that point chances are you're using more technology, and so you're needing to solve that problem of how do I bring this together. Naturally, right. People, whether it's part of their strategy or not, naturally people stumble into this strategy. Just having to solve this problem to continue to grow, to go from 500 to 1 billion, to go from 1 billion to 3, to go from 3 to 7. Mm-hmm. But what I would say is the firms that are taking off with this strategy, and I think it is because they are investing resources into the business. Is the first, if you're at 1 billion and you're not doing it, you're not going to get to 3.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
What we're seeing.
I completely agree with that. And I stumbled across it as well. So as you well know, we cover a lot of conferences. I cover a lot of conferences for Investment News, goRIA. And I was at a conference and I was explaining my problem that I couldn't get every last piece of data into my Salesforce. They were like, well, why don't you just use a data warehouse? And I was like, a what? I had no idea what it was. But now, and it's one of those things, and you've probably seen this too, just once you know of a new term or new concept, I hear it every single day now. I'm just more tuned into it, but it was becoming very, very common for folks to talk about. And to your point, I completely agree with you. If you're looking to be a multi-billion-dollar firm, without a data warehouse, you're going to be at a huge competitive disadvantage just for the reasons we talked about. Just getting that ultimate integration of every last piece of data and be able to put that data exactly where you want it. And I think that's ultimately the beauty of this type of system.
Yeah, in a way, right? Like every RIA in a way has to become technology first,
Mm-hmm.
right? In order to survive, in order to continue to compete. And what is really exciting, you made the joke of, some people maybe being on this call, not being around with Apple TV
Yeah.
Plus. Um, what's really exciting. So I've been at Orion for 14 years, right? And that first probably 7 years, it was unheard of to get on the phone with a customer that had an employed engineer,
Yeah.
right? Completely unheard of, right? And now, we see it at Orion. I now know engineers that worked at Orion that are now working at our customer RIAs.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what's been really exciting, is because you're seeing this leap where RIAs, which, if you think about like investment analysis, right? If you say you're an RIA, you're immediately pigeonholed into a financial services sector, right? But the reality of it is you are towing the line between a technology sector and a financial
Mm-hmm.
services sector now, because of solutions like this. And if your value proposition, or if you're in that, there's that joke or that adage that's going on right now in the industry, right? You're either an RIA that is preparing to be bought, or you are an RIA that is prepared to be bought, right? Like,
That's probably right.
um, and and when private equity companies come knocking, they want to understand your value prop and your story. Are you technology first, or are you just age old? I'm going off of word of mouth marketing, and that's how I get clients, and that's my stick, right? Like that's what I do. So it's just been really cool over the last 7 to 10 years to see the customers that Orion partners with evolve as well.
Yeah. So that I'm glad you brought that up, and we're going to talk about Snowflake in just a moment. So just bear with us. But I think this is an important thought that you just mentioned there.
Okay, which is
So
what
again, that was
makes
just a
you
little
valuable
taste
as
of
a
what we
firm.
talked about. The entire episode is about 30 minutes, goes into a lot of really good actionable detail about what a data warehouse is, how to use it, and the real good news, and we kind of alluded to that at the tail end of this clip I just played, is that the pricing of these things are coming down. Is it appropriate for maybe a $50 million RIA? Probably not. But once you get up to that 5 or 600 million, or if you are intending to build to that, might as well build it correctly from scratch. That's about the break-even point where it starts making some sense. And I could tell you with absolute certainty, and we talk about this as well with Adam, if you're looking to build a 1 or 2 or 5 or $10 billion RIA, you just can't do it without a data warehouse. You would be at such a major competitive disadvantage. So depending on what you're looking to accomplish. So whether you're looking to have kind of a smaller RIA, but have real great interactive functionality, integrated functionality, a data warehouse is a good thing. And if you're looking to build a larger scalable RIA, it's an absolute must. But again, the good news is, like with all technology, the pricing of this is coming down, the accessibility is coming down to where even smaller and mid-sized RIAs can and should be thinking about this. So it's up right now. It's the first podcast right at the top of the page at www.goRIA.com. So if you're curious about the data warehouse and Snowflake also, that was part of the big announcement. And I'll let Adam talk about that in detail on this podcast. Check it out. If you like RIA tech, if you're curious about the data warehousing, you've been hearing about it, this is a great episode to learn a lot more about it. Okay, so that's it for this week. So on behalf of goRIA, fueled by Investment News, I'm Chuck 𝐏𝐲𝐶. I will see you next Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Thanks for joining us. Take care.